get it.
SDPN, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Hey, Jesse.
What's up?
Sick donuts, bud.
So why are there donuts in here? Did you guys have a donut bet?
We had another donut bet.
We did.
What was the bet? Because I didn't hear about it.
Well, Jesse, ye of little faith.
Hey, I had faith. I just thought it would take longer.
Jesse, I think what it is, Adam, is he's just too humble. He's far too humble. Because you and I were looking at him like proud parents.
Oh, he's our
show.
boy. That's our boy.
He's talking about.
Even though I look down on you guys.
He does.
He's our tall
in every
boy.
respect.
Short kings.
We're short kings. Doesn't respect us, and he shouldn't.
No.
That's fair.
But Jesse makes this amazing website and also this amazing app. And he was walking me through the numbers. How many people downloaded the app? And I said, I bet you by Saturday at noon, we will have 5,000 downloads.
Of the app?
Of the app. Jesse, how are we doing?
We currently have 6,800 downloads in 48 hours. Yeah. And we've reached the top 200 of free apps in the entire App Store on iOS. We cracked the top 200. We were at like 190 or something, but that top 200 is pretty exclusive company. So we were beating the Amazon Echo app at one point.
God, that's so stupid.
It was like, I think it was at like 190. It was us, then the Zara app, then like a Bitcoin app, and then Amazon, and then I think CIBC or something. There's some big names that we crossed there.
Bitcoin CJ would have been like, I don't think so.
So it was pretty cool. But yeah, since we had the bet, and I thought like, okay, it'll take the weekend. We'll probably cross 5,000. Maybe in a week we'll get to like something special like 10K. But I didn't think 48 hours we'd hit 5,000, which was just spectacular. So Steve won the donut bet that we had in very short time.
Hey, I read the comments. Don't mind if I do. They were saying Steve looks like the kind of guy who would look at a box of donuts and go, "Don't mind if I do," because I think they're either calling me fat or a dad. I think probably a dad.
They're doing the Drake meme to you.
Oh.
Yes,
Drake's the type of guy to say "toodly doo." That's the.
Maybe he is.
They're doing that to you now,
Damn.
which is hilarious. Anyways, thank you for downloading the app.
That's incredible.
It's been a crazy 48 hours.
We need 100 more.
Within the announced time, like there was like an hour, and then you guys crashed the app.
Oh, yeah, we sent out our first notification for the Steve Dangle podcast episode, and then too many people clicked on it, and it wasn't ready for that moment. The widget that controls that part of the app, you crashed that specific widget. So the full episodes tabs were down for like a couple hours. It's incredible.
SDPN radio is amazing.
So that's just okay. There were still people asking because I don't think everybody actually saw it. But if you click on the app and SDPN radio, it's just us saying old shit, like our old radio, our old shows.
So yesterday I was listening to February 5th, 2020.
Oh, boy.
Really not that long ago. And we were earnestly talking about, man, would you trade Kasperi Kapanen for Alec Martinez and Jack Campbell? I don't know. I think Kapanen's too much. We were wrong.
That
would have been
a steal.
Dubas could work the rest of his life. I don't think he would have a bigger fleecing.
No, that's an incredible trade.
It's a really good. And I was like, I don't know about this Campbell guy.
Somebody messaged me and they're like, I'm listening to SDPN radio right now, and there's a lot of construction in the background. And I remembered being outside that studio, which, with all due respect to Bell Media, is not properly soundproofed. And also on top of that, it doesn't help that they happen to be on the street that the city goes, we're going to dig that street up every year. Like, I don't think Bell, when they moved the radio stations down there, thought, oh, this is the street that they will quite literally tear up every month of every year. Richmond and Duncan, if you don't know the intersection in downtown Toronto, they repaved the whole thing during the pandemic 2 months later. So pandemic, they repaved the whole thing. It looks amazing. And then, I'm not kidding you, by July last year, they dug up half of it again.
Dude, I don't remember why we were in that area, but I hadn't seen you guys in that area in forever, in over a year. And I'm like, it looks the same. What happened?
Yeah, I know.
What happened?
I don't know if you saw
the whole time.
I had a TikTok, and I had parked my Mustang outside, and there was this
I got a Mustang.
3 foot deep sinkhole. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, no, right there. So that's why they had to dig it up again, because there was a sinkhole underneath, and I actually like called it into like, is it 311 or 411 or whatever it is, and like and had to say, hey guys, there's a gigantic sinkhole right near my car. And it took them 2 or 3 weeks to repair it. They had to dig the whole thing up. And it's crazy.
So SDPN radio is just
Oh yeah.
it's all of our old shows playing on loop 24/7, and it seems like it's the underrated favorite feature of the app.
It's such a great idea. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah.
We were talking about a guy who I think he was like a Toronto rapper / influencer who, as a prank, was on a flight to Jamaica. Remember, this is February 2020.
This loser.
He was on a flight to Jamaica, and he stands up on the plane and goes, hey, everyone, I just want to let you know I just got back from Wuhan province, and they can't land in Jamaica, so they had to turn the plane around. And then you go on this rant.
I remember
because that guy, he's like, I go to Jamaica 5 times a year, and he lives with his parents and everything. But there's all these people who had like saved up for years. I'm trying to think of my parents who went to Jamaica after 25 years of never leaving Canada. Like, imagine them going on that flight and then having a day of their vacation ruined because of some asshole trying to get clout. And then I said, and this dates the show, when do we find out he's dating Chair Girl?
Who, by the way, is a millionaire.
Well,
why?
Chair Girl has like tens of thousands of followers. If anybody doesn't know who Chair Girl is, she was like 18, and there was like a video on Snapchat of her literally. She threw a balcony chair off of her 30th story balcony right near the garden.
Condos.
Was it ice condos?
Yeah.
Of course it was.
Oh.
And then she it was like it caused like a media storm because first off there was the witch hunt on who is this person,
Mm-hmm. Right.
and then she shows up to the courthouse, and like the whole thing is like she used it to leverage to get a bunch of followers on Instagram. She spent the entire pandemic in like Atlanta, and you'd see her like her stories completely like pre even the vaccine existing. They would be like face to face in a club in Atlanta, just going bananas, and like it was. I remember thinking like, holy shit, like I can't believe this stuff still happens. But yeah, man, like she just bought a $2 million house in Toronto. Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, at least it didn't work.
Currently on the SDPN radio, which you can find on the SDPN app or on sdpn.ca/radio. It's also there. One to remember from November 25th, 2020, which I believe is the episode that Ken Reed was on.
Oh.
Is that?
Oh, yeah.
One to remember. I believe that would be, we were talking about his book.
Yes, he was on, that would have been a Zoom episode, November 2020. And because I remember listening to the February one going, oh, this sounds like really good. Like, I guess, oh, wait, we were still in a radio studio when we were doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken Reed. No one can spin a yarn like that guy.
No
and
kidding.
we have to also thank Adam specifically for SDPN radio.
I just noticed this.
We were looking for a sponsor. We couldn't find anybody to sponsor the radio station because, radio's driven by ads, obviously.
Yep.
But thankfully, one sponsor stepped up to the plate, Adam's History Corner. They are sponsoring
all that money.
SDPN radio. So thank you to the sponsors, Adam's History Corner, for providing the funds so we can run this radio.
Hope you charged them out the ass.
As the head of the Adams History Corner Trust, I was just happy to do my part for SDPN radio because nobody needs cold takes like you. We recognize that, and sdpn.ca/radio is the place to get it.
Thank you for supporting local business.
So we can insert ads, obviously, into the radio station.
Sure.
Will you record a couple ads for Adam's History Corner that
Totally.
run on loop?
Yes.
Like once an hour, they come up on SDPN radio.
Hey, do you want to hear boring stories you'd normally hear from your grandfather? Tune into Adam's History Corner. Hey, for sure. I'm in.
That's so funny.
What you have to understand about Genghis Khan. So Genghis Khan, now let me tell you something.
Instead of developing a personality, I developed an interest in history.
It's like, hey, you want to talk about the Jack Eichel trade, or do you want to get super in depth about what was in different ration containers.
Yeah, well, we can do that.
Okay, so they had 2 graham crackers at the start of the war, but then they had to go down to 1 graham cracker. And that's how they invented s'mores, you see.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they would make fires in the trenches. And anyway.
Thank you.
It was the style at the time.
It's how I sound. I know that.
And I just have one last thing on the app. Some people have had troubles with notifications not saving. So that's definitely a problem. Like I noticed it as well. So there's an update coming, but it takes like 72 hours for the updates to push through because Apple has to approve it with like a human. Same with Google Play. So like in the next week or so, there'll be an update to the app that'll solve the notification issue. And thank you for letting me know about it on our Discord.
How's it feel for your app to suck ass, Jesse?
Yeah.
Hey,
wow.
You got donuts because of this app.
Consider working harder.
Yeah.
Do your goddamn job.
I'm taking back the donuts.
Just breaking news after like a few hours ago, Brady Tkachuk has been named the captain of the Ottawa Senators.
What a surprise!
We're all shocked. You know what? I feel like they delayed this just because everybody knew it was coming, and they're like, "We're not going to give it to you when you want it. We're going to do it later."
Yeah,
because we're the Senators. And you know
also,
what?
You made us wait, so screw you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so great, right?
Hooray! I mean, yeah, that's the captain. There you go. That's who it should be, and they made the right choice. Good for them.
Okay. Now I bring up Brady to bring up Matt. Because if Kevin Weeks is to be believed, Matt Tkachuk was almost traded to the Buffalo Sabres. Although, from what we've heard, probably not. The Flames are saying that that's the lie. Lie detector test determined that was the lie.
Mm-hmm.
But Weeks obviously had somebody tell him that. He didn't just tweet it.
Yeah. So CJ had a good thought on that Kevin Weeks tweet because a lot of people were looking at that package and going, Jesus Christ, like why didn't the Sabres take that one?
Mm-hmm.
And CJ's theory was those things could have potentially been offered, but not all at once. So it wouldn't have been
Tkachuk and
Tkachuk and a top prospect and 2 firsts. No, that doesn't make any sense. Actually, I was listening to it on the way here. The last CJ show was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. Some Leaf stuff in there too.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about some of the Leaf stuff too. But
it sounds like the Tkachuk thing wasn't real.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the Flame. I would expect to go the other way, but it's another one of those things where it's always him, isn't it?
It is. And then I don't know if you saw the game last night, but I hate to say this, but even though he scored, Matt Tkachuk cost him a point last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, he got a fucking penalty from the bench for chirping the ref.
No.
And then first period,
okay,
0-0, nothing on the line at this point. So he's chirping the ref, and then he gets an unsportsmanlike. And then I think it's Miro Heiskanen passed it over to Jamie Benn, and Jamie Benn scored his first goal. He's never scored a goal this year, and it was on that ensuing power play. Now, Tkachuk made up for it the next period because he scored, but I believe Dallas won in either overtime or they won by a goal.
And they got screwed a few days ago too on just a clear trip.
Mm-hmm.
Clear trip that was missed. It was a call that was missed by the ref, and Matt Duchene scores a goal. It's always him.
Always.
Hockey's anti-Forrest Gump. He's just attached to everything.
But I can understand. Remember we were talking about last year with the Flames and Jake Muzzin flipping the puck at him. And I'm sure Flames fans are tired of hearing about this, but you're going to hear about it again. And then, Flames players going, God. And nobody wanting to stick up for him because it's like, dude, why do you keep doing this? If we use that, what we saw last night as an example, I can understand why, as a teammate, you'd be like, dude, you're making me kill a penalty because you were talking too much. Are you serious?
Yeah.
At least punch someone in the face.
Yeah, I gotta block shots. You're putting us at risk here.
I'm not saying that he doesn't care about the team. He very clearly cares. Sometimes, though, like with Sidney Crosby in his younger years, you care too much and it costs you.
Well, and I remember at the time being like, how could you ever complain as a teammate of Sidney Crosby? But then you see him now, and it's like, oh, look how much better he is now that he's Sidney Crosby and doesn't do those things.
Yeah, and listen, we get it. Sidney won a cup early on. I get it. But don't sit here and pretend. If you watch any of those late pre-2010 Penguins teams. Like, it wasn't easy to get under Sidney Crosby's skin. If you blew in his ear, he would lose his mind.
Oh yeah,
and Stevenson.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And you could be a nobody. You could be just guy making league men guy, and you could send Crosby over the moon. And now he just destroys you with his play, and has been doing that for a decade.
Part of the reason I think Crosby and Ovechkin have had the longevity that they've had, and are as kind of unflappable as they are, is they got introduced to the league with a bunch of kind of holdovers from a previous era. Like Sidney Crosby cut his teeth literally going up against Darian Hatcher and his stick.
And living in Mario's basement for a while, too.
He got the teeth cross-checked out of his mouth and then scored an overtime winner. Penguins didn't win a lot of games in Crosby's rookie year, but I remember that one.
Do you remember when he broke his jaw? And then how he spoke differently? Didn't he break his jaw? I'm going to look this up. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that was early on, too, and I think that was Hatcher as well. It might have even been that game.
Yeah, puck in the face. Yeah, I think it was a puck in the face. It was a slap shot.
He's really been through
Deflected slap shot 2013. It was Zdeno Chara hit him in the jaw, but yeah, he did break his jaw.
Chara.
And then I don't know if you remember it for that season, but I do, where he spoke differently. Like, he kind of had a different, and I'm sure he's had that corrected.
Yeah.
But
it takes a long time to recover.
Oh, yeah.
Kadri broke his jaw in junior, and I remember he told me at the World Junior Camp that the doctor said it would take like 2 years to fully heal.
Oh.
Yeah.
On the Tkachuk thing, he must be in some serious trouble. And like, that's not great.
Tkachuk?
Yeah.
What
because, okay, the refs get yelled at all the time.
Oh.
This happens consistently in hockey. We saw it on the All or Nothing doc.
Yeah.
Like, the coaches are yelling at them. So for a ref to just be like, no, you're done.
From the bench.
From the bench.
Yeah.
True.
That means the refs know Matt Tkachuk was yelling. The refs know Matt Tkachuk has a history of this. The refs know we're not going to put up with your shit. That's not good for him.
You never want to be on the ref shit list. And we all know who's on it.
Yeah, if that's anybody else, you can yell at the ref.
The first number one on that list, forever and ever, amen, is Nazem Kadri.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Dude, he got a misconduct for getting a stick swung at his head and saying, I didn't like that. He got a misconduct for that.
Yeah, so
and Matt Tkachuk's now on that list from the bench.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't great for him at all.
No,
and he clearly, his reputation is, everybody knows it.
No, and that is something he can control.
Yeah.
He can control. Now,
Well, maybe he can't.
Well, this is the problem, right? And we already know the Flames, if they don't think you're a fit, it doesn't matter how good you are, they'll get rid of you. Dougie Hamilton. They didn't think he was a fit. Now, we all know how we feel
He
about
went to
that.
museums.
Yeah, how dare you?
how dare you read a book? Idiot.
Get out of here, nerd. Stupid nerd. Go make millions of dollars somewhere else, nerd.
The Bruins and the Flames and the Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, the Flames will get rid of you.
Yeah, it seems...
Listen,
I know that they've had a good start to the season and they've added a lot, but they're one of those frustrating teams, and I got a lot of messages from Flames fans where I'm like, just do something. That you've obviously been unhappy with the build of your team for some time, and it's going to be one of Tkachuk or Gaudreau. Just do something.
They can't now. They're winning.
yeah, they're doing great.
Well, they're winning, and so I had a tweet yesterday that was a little misunderstood. It was basically, I was thinking about the thought process of a team like the Flames who is in on Jack Eichel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, how do you go from wanting to being willing to give up all those assets for Jack Eichel, and then you don't get him and you do nothing? Like, my thought was, well, now you move on to plan B. And what's plan B?
Well, who could it be?
Who could it be? So you move on and you do something. Now, all the messages I got from Flames fans were, you don't know Brad Treliving. He loves doing nothing.
He's good at it.
Flames fans are they're a fun group because they get it. They're like, we're frustrated too, man.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah,
there they are.
It's
every Canadian's least favorite team.
I don't think the Flames have a backup plan. If I were to guess, I think that they were like, here's a swing at a once in a lifetime player, and we're winning. So if we get him, great. If we don't, great. Like I don't
could
see
be the case.
I don't see it as a thing that the Flames have to do. Look at how they've started 6-1-3, and they probably the way they played Dallas last night, they should have won. They should have won the game before as well. That 6-game win streak should not have been snapped. That was a missed call.
They shouldn't have lost that game to Nashville.
Yeah,
shouldn't have.
Now
those add up, right?
let's talk about the Jack Eichel trade.
Oh, did he get traded?
Yeah, because that was where we were going here. So, I guess, the first thing that anybody wants to talk about is who won the trade. So you got Jack Eichel and a conditional pick, which I believe is the 2023 third rounder. Sabres got Alex Tuch, Peyton Krebs, who's a former Alex Tuch, who's under contract for like 3 more years. Peyton Krebs, who was like a 13th overall pick 2 years ago, and 2 conditional picks back. One of them being, I believe, a first and one a third.
Can I read the conditions on the pick?
More.
Yeah,
Four
please,
more
please.
after this one.
So the picks that went, the first round pick to Buffalo. If the pick is in the top 10, Vegas will instead transfer their 2023 first round pick to Buffalo. The second round pick that went to Buffalo, if Vegas's first round pick in the 2022 draft is in the top 10, then Vegas will transfer their 2024 second round pick instead.
Wow.
And then the condition of the trade of the pick that went over to Vegas, if Vegas's first round pick is in the 2022 draft is in the top 10, then Buffalo will transfer their 2024 third round pick instead. So that's a little complicated, but there's a lot of stuff going on there.
So it's really complicated for us, but also it makes it difficult for Vegas to do more business. And I wonder if this is what held up the deal. Because, yeah, you got to put conditions on it because of Jack Eichel's situation. Obviously, it's kind of fluid. But Vegas can't use those assets now. Right? It's not just the assets that they end up giving up. It's the assets that they may need to give up.
And if anybody cares, they have 7 people in LTIR right now.
It's wild.
A grand total of $16 million. So if you're mad about the Lightning from last year, well, let me tell you. I mean, the cap is made up.
The difference is Vegas is really not doing well. With all those guys out.
And the cap is made up thing part about this trade is that Jack Eichel was on their main roster this entire time so that they could reach the cap floor. And once they made this trade, they were under the cap floor. So they had to go to the Islanders and get Johnny Boychuk's dead contract just to reach the floor. So that was another trade that happened, and the Sabres got Johnny Boychuk to reach the floor, and they traded back nothing.
I mean, future considerations.
Lou Lamoriello wins again.
I mean,
unbelievable,
man.
Yeah. So it's a joke that Jack Eichel could count against their cap. That's ridiculous. The cap is made up, and the system needs to be fixed in the next CBA.
Nah, they're not going to do that. Why fix it? It's already fucked up.
Yeah. The whole point of the cap is to prevent teams from spending too much money. And last year's Stanley Cup champion spent nearly $100 million. So.
Like, and the worst teams don't spend enough money.
Yeah. Yes. That's another big thing. Man.
It's broken on both ends.
Bless the players on the Sabres roster for winning any games, let alone how many they've already won this season. Oh, Dahlin. Did you see him yesterday?
No.
Oh,
turnstile?
Hang on. I'll pull it up. But
pulling up the GIF? Oh, Jesse, it's really bad. It's when it rains, it pours for the poor guy.
Okay, here it is. I got it, Jesse. I'll text it to you.
It's let's just say that's a dang it.
Yeah, it's one of the worst.
Look at this. So the goal went in. He's upset. Whack. Oh, poor
That's
guy,
Bobby
man.
Orr-esque. That's almost Bobby Orr winning the cup.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah.
What do you say to the coach? Please don't play me for the rest of the game. That's and it's amazing because Sabres fans are like, oh yeah, that's been a season in a nutshell. So I didn't realize it was going that bad.
That's not good.
And if you were to say to us preseason, hey, the Sabres are gonna have a good start, you go, well, maybe Rasmus Dahlin stepped up.
Oh, he would have to be a part of it.
Right.
He's their only recognizable player.
There's 119,000 views on that GIF.
Oh man, poor guy.
I hate to tell you, there's going to be more.
And hey, listen, they got 11 points. They're 4th in the East. Good for them. They're doing, got 11 points, 5-4-1. They're actually 500.
They were 5-1-1.
What did you guys think of the trade? And the pieces they got back.
man, is Vegas nothing like what we thought they were going to be? None of their first round picks from their first 3 years as a team are still with the organization. 2017, they picked 3 guys. Cody Glass is gone. Nick Suzuki is gone. Eric Brandstrom is gone. 2018, they didn't have a first round pick. I think that was the one they traded to Detroit for Tatar. And then 2019 was Peyton Krebs, and he's gone. So look up who they drafted in the first round of 2020. He's gone too. He's gone. But Vegas does get something that they sorely need. They need an elite center, and it makes the rest of the team look like such a much better. Oh, I said such a much. It looks like a much better fit.
Yeah,
like Chandler Stevenson, first line center. I'm sorry, no.
We knew that was going to change, right? Like we saw against Montreal what that meant.
Right. And just wait till he comes back, and then he came back and nothing changed at all. Like, it's just, you're expecting this player who is fine to be a game breaker.
Yep.
It's a little bit like the Bozak thing, where we're like, okay, yeah, Tyler Bozak, but not first line center Tyler Bozak.
Yeah.
That's enough of that, please. But now you get a top 3 of Eichel, William Karlsson. When he comes back, he broke his friggin' foot. Vegas can't buy anything except all the players. And Chandler Stevenson. You have a 1, 2, 3 of that.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I think it was Kevin Papetti that tweeted it last night. He said, "I love how the Sabres just casually traded for Mark Stone, Max Pacioretty, and Jack Eichel."
Sabres?
Sorry, Vegas.
I was like,
Vegas.
whoa.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah, and signed Alex Pietrangelo as a free agent.
So we've talked about how the cap prevents trades. No, GMs prevent trades.
Right.
GMs are not creative. And you can, listen, Vegas has had more than their fair share of accusations of management not being necessarily upfront with the players. One thing that we can say is that they are cut and dry.
Oh,
They are cold as ice. And look at the players they have on the roster. If Jack Eichel is healthy, that is a scary team.
add him to Mark Stone, and they could have a top line of Max Pacioretty, Jack Eichel, Mark Stone.
Oh,
It's awesome.
Yeah,
and you
you're
look at
not
the
beating
results of what all the trades they've made and what they've got out of it. A trip to the Stanley Cup final, 2 Western Conference final appearances, and then a first round loss where they could have gone either way.
They kind of got shafted there. Yeah.
So
That's a lot of shouldas.
Like their performance on the ice is amazing for the team that they're building. Like going for it works. We're seeing results for going for it.
But what is there's a mood hanging over the Vegas Golden Knights. They're kind of sick of them. Like they've lost the baby fat of being the new franchise.
it's always what happens. It's the crux of popularity. You become super cool until you're not cool. And then you're not cool anymore because you've been cool and people are tired of you.
People don't like the Lakers unless you're a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
But they're going for it, So like people aren't going to like Vegas now that they're no longer the expansion darling.
Yeah.
People are going to hate them because every year they're swapping guys in and out and they're treating this like a fantasy team, not your fantasy team because yours sucks. But like
it's so bad. Holy
like a
shit.
regular dude's fantasy team, we're just trying to get the best guys.
I'm never doing that again. With my goalie strategy, never doing that again. I knew the Leafs were winning that game last night because I'm like, don't worry, everyone. Andre Vasilevsky's my goalie. You think he's getting a shutout? Shut up. No way.
You made the Leafs win.
I did. You're welcome. Me alone.
But yeah, it's a video game to the Vegas Golden Knight management, and it's cool to see.
We've been talking about Vegas. We ranted about the Buffalo Sabres for months, how they weren't going to get full value. They weren't going to get anything. I know some Sabres fans were a little underwhelmed. I thought they did really well.
I thought they did too. I didn't think... I was trying to figure out what the expectation would have been, and I think the Matt Tkachuk rumor really threw people off. Like, I had a bunch of people who messaged me and they're like, well, now knowing what the Flames were offering...
No.
I have to be honest. If Tkachuk was in the deal, I take any deal with Tkachuk in it. But from what I have heard, he was never offered. That's what I've heard.
Enough people said Calgary was in on it that I believe it. Enough people said Carolina was in on it that I believe it. But
what
no
were they
one
offering?
mentioned any names.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was only weeks.
And listen, and let me say this to Sabres fans. If it's true that Matthew Tkachuk was offered, then you're right. Kevin Adams fucked this up. I would have done Jack Eichel for Matt Tkachuk straight up if I was the Sabres.
Okay.
Just take it.
That's a little much.
Now,
What, is it?
Calm down.
Yeah.
Why? He's going to play. We don't know that Jack Eichel's going to play, guys.
Well, that's the wild card in all of this. I'm choosing to believe he's going to come back and he's going to be totally fine.
Yeah. And I think the whole point of Kevin Adams waiting this out was that you wanted a decent package and not just a warm body back for a guy who's not playing.
He wanted multiple people.
Yeah.
And Peyton Krebs is going to have an opportunity to actually play.
And he got made fun of for saying, we want people who are dying to be Buffalo Sabres. And I mean, that is a hilarious quote. But I do genuinely believe Alex Tuck really wants to be there. No,
Yeah, he's from Rochester, right?
Syracuse. Yeah. Same thing. Am I right, folks?
No.
Same thing. No, they did a good job preparing for the future and everything. I think salary retention gets lost in all this. Oh, they could have got more if they retained salary. Well, no, there's a price for that. There's a reason you get more assets. It's because, like, let's say they retain $2 million on Jack Eichel. Well, you're retaining that for like 4 or 5 years. There has to be a price to that. Imagine they retained half. $5 million. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you could have got a king's ransom for that. But then you would have $5 million. Like, at some point, you have aspirations of being good and relevant, and like you're gonna want that cap space. Right?
They had those aspirations in 2014, sorry, and didn't really work out for the next half decade.
No, but I think by being like, oh yeah, we'll just have $5 million dead cap and won't be a big deal. I think that's
You're resigning yourself to being less than optimal for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Because if all you have to do really is draft well. If they draft well,
this is the big thing with the Sabres. Boy, they've drafted like shit. They've improved recently. Like we're talking outside the first round. Like JJ Peterka, I was like, whoa, that dude, that's a second rounder. Look at you go. Really underrated aspect of the Sam Reinhart trade. A lot of people were underwhelmed with that. Dude, they got Devin Levi in that deal. And he sort of goes under the radar as like, I think he was a 7th round pick. The Panthers are, I
they're
guess,
crushing it right now.
I guess they're married to the idea that Bobrovsky is untradeable and Spencer Knight is the goalie of their future because they really flippantly got rid of Devin Levi. That's a good goalie, man. He's doing amazing to start the season, and he could be the Sabres goalie of the future.
There it is.
Who was the influencer we made fun of? Levi Jenkins? That wasn't it.
No, it was
Leroy.
Leroy.
Dude with the watch?
Yeah. It was Levi, was it not?
I don't remember his last name, but I remember Levi.
Yeah,
I remember Levi.
God.
Yeah.
We did like a half an episode on
Yeah, I think you were complaining
more than that.
Leroy Jenkins, which is the Leroy Jenkins World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
best
I
clip
prefer
ever.
the name Levi Jenkins. Even
Levi
if it's not
Jenkins
his real
better.
name.
Yeah, what
Remember
happened?
Levi?
I wonder what happened to Levi.
I'm sure longtime listeners know who we're talking about and remember his handle. I
don't even know how we brought him up. That's
don't
crazy.
know.
Anyway, I think that personally, I think Buffalo did fine by this. And, I think the best thing that they have is they've got Alex Tuck, who's a guy that can, from what we're seeing, if he's healthy, he's doing 50 to 60 points a year. And then the other thing is you have him for a long time.
Yeah, good cap hit.
Good cap hit. There's a lot there to like. And Peyton Krebs has played 13 games. He has an assist, but I doubt he's had much of a chance to really kind of jump in there. And, then you get some draft picks or whatever. Like, that's where the Sabres are at. I don't think this trade is all that bad. There was never going to be a miraculous solution here. You were never really going to love what came back, unless it was Matthew Tkachuk, who I worship at the altar of. I love him. I think he's amazing.
I know. No, I get it. Well, because you love him because you're a Leafs fan. And no one plays like that.
Right. I think it was a producer I worked with at The Fan, Ryan Fabro. I think he's the assistant PD there now or whatever.
I think you're right.
Anyway, Ryan tweeted, he's like, I know this is incorrect, but I don't believe the Leafs have thrown a body check since 2013. and he said that last night during the game when the Leafs were objectively playing well. I would like a guy like what Wayne Simmonds is, but minus 5 years from Wayne Simmonds' body.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean. You want like 12 Wayne Simmonds?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yo, if 2012 Wayne Simmonds had played in Toronto, he would have had a statue.
100%.
statue.
100%.
Sure.
You imagine adding that era Wayne Simmonds to the 2013 team?
Oh. He's, and the thing is, I have to say with Wayne, everything that came out this week with the Hawks and stuff, his comments were amazing.
Yeah.
Wayne is so, like, I know everybody in the advanced stats community is like, what does he add on the ice? I think he does. And I think there is a personality intangible. I also think when he was going to kill one of the Pittsburgh Penguins or Wilkes-Barre Scranton players, when they were beating us 7-1, he was gonna put someone through the roof.
Yeah, it was the Simpsons moment where they play hockey and he's like, hack the bone! Wayne Simmonds literally went in there with his stick and hacked the bone!
Yes!
And he started a fight. It's intangibles you can't.
I had an edible and Natalie had an edible as well. And she was like, wow, he really took a swing there. Like, we were super high. And we got into like a 10-minute conversation about why he would have done that. And she's like, wait a second. So you're losing and you're trying to hurt them? And I said, yeah, because you want to make sure that the next time they come to town that they remember what it was like when they embarrassed you. There's a little bit of sting to that, right? A little bit of...
And hockey's also dumb.
The hockey's super dumb.
So I very seldomly watch hockey like that, but there was a game that I happened to be watching like that. And it was the game from, I think it was that big rookie year against the Canucks where there was a line brawl. And then it was Matt Martin jumped Troy Stetcher, and then the goalies squared off. And I remember just freaking out because I was like, oh, there's a goalie. Yeah, I don't typically recommend watching hockey like that. Also, night of videos now. Can't do it.
What do you mean you can't do it?
Oh, I could never watch a hockey game intoxicated anymore.
Oh, no way.
Under the influence.
No way.
Because
I remember Steve used to do LFRs intoxicated from time to time.
I would do LFRs drunk. Yes.
Drunk FRs?
Yeah, oh yeah. And then he'd have us all come in and be like, and then like, as a part of the intro.
Oh yeah, like we'd be like in the middle of a party and it'd be like, you know what? I'm going to do a video now.
Oh, God.
Yeah. He'd go and do it. It was great.
Stupid.
I don't think it was great.
Yeah.
No. We did a couple podcasts drunk. I have grown up.
Anyways, Wayne Simmonds, his interview with Chris Johnston, definitely check it out in the Star.
That was awesome.
He like on the ice as well. I thought he struggled. He struggled to start the season, but his last few games,
night,
that fourth line's been really effective. Yeah. Like Nick Ritchie. Oh man, he's getting chances. They're just not going in. And yeah, do
you guys want to pivot to the Leaf game? Talk about it?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one of the things that when you watch that Leaf game last night, the first thing is, and I tweeted this, I just wish we could shrink Andrei Vasilevskiy. Like, he's so big. Yeah. He's so big. And people get on him about his chest protector. I don't give a shit about that. Whatever.
He shouldn't be allowed to be that big and flexible.
He's enormous. And so there's that part of it. And then there's the part of it where the Leafs do not get in front of the net. So he's going to see every shot. And so it's like, I was watching this going, they deserve this game, but they may not win this game. And that third period, Jack Campbell was absolutely unbelievable. LA must be going, why the hell did we give him up?
It was, I know. It's honestly, Jack Campbell with the toughest 25 shot game I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Like, the Leafs did a pretty good job of limiting the shots against until they super didn't. I said in the LFR yesterday that the Leafs went 12 minutes without a shot. I was wrong. It was the Lightning. Again, night of LFRs. It's to be expected. But he was banana sandwich that final 10 minutes.
Is Jack Campbell the best trade Kyle Dubas has made as the Leafs general manager?
Gotta be, right?
I think so. Because it was Clifford and him for Grunstrom. Was it? No, Grunstrom was the Muzzin trade, right? Grunstrom and Jersey went as a part of the Muzzin trade. No, it was
Trevor Moore, and I want to say a 3rd round pick.
For Clifford and Jack Armstrong? Or Jack...
Can you imagine?
Get this garbage out of here.
Get the garbage out of here!
Jack Campbell and Jack Armstrong and Kyle Clifford were traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs by the Los Angeles Kings on Wednesday for Trevor Moore, a 3rd round pick in the 2020 draft, and a 3rd round pick in the 2021 draft.
That's pretty good.
That's a fleecing.
Kyle with those just picks flowing away.
Yeah.
Brendan Shanahan's looking there. He's shaking his head. He's like, no, did it again.
And Kyle Clifford was a Leaf for a hot minute, and he will forever be the guy who decked Peter Mrazek and brought David Ayres into that game. That's
no.
I didn't even know that.
Yep. Sometimes people just walk into your life and walk out, but they have a huge impact, and that was Kyle Clifford with Leafs Nation forever. Forever and ever, amen.
Man, I think we'd all collectively forgotten about that, but not you.
I hadn't.
Wow.
There's an HBO show called Insecure that I really like. And there's a scene where they go to a Kings game, and Kyle Clifford gets mentioned in the show. And I just sat there and I was just very happy because at the time he was the Leaf and he got mentioned in the show I like, and it was on HBO, and it was the one hockey scene.
Wonderful.
That's my favorite Kyle Clifford moment.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. There's a guy, he's had
LA celebrity.
He's had some
Kyle
moments.
Clifford.
LA celebrity. It's funny, like I guess the popular players in LA are kind of famous.
I've always wondered about the sports dynamic, and this is a side tangent that's so unnecessary, but I've always wondered about the sports celebrities in LA because they have so many teams. I think there's like 8 professional teams within the LA kind of area. Yeah. So like, are Kings players even famous? Like Drew Doughty walks around in LA. People notice?
I think so.
Yeah?
Well, also he would stand out in LA.
That's true.
Yeah, like everybody in LA is pretty, and then there's Drew Doughty.
Which, like, no. Let's be honest.
Drew Doughty is an attractive man.
He
has the Thor thing.
If he tried,
but what Thor thing.
He tries to do the mountain man thing.
Yeah,
and that's very not Los Angeles, right?
Yeah,
LA
is Jason Momoa attractive.
No,
not
at all.
Not even at all.
I don't know if I'm qualified to speak on this, but no, like not even.
Listen,
close.
I'm not saying he's not good looking, but he's not the typical LA.
Jason Momoa's got all his teeth. Like,
yeah. Drew. All these years later, he's like, nope, still not getting him.
No.
It's still
Blaze likes it, so
yeah.
I'm sure he walks around like a dude who looks like him and makes $11.5 million.
Kopitar? Is Kopitar famous in LA?
I would think within Kings fandom he would be huge.
Yeah, I mean, like outside Kings fandom.
That's tough to know. I mean, when they talked about, like, I used to listen to a show called Kevin and Bean religiously, and they were a spectacular show at K-Rock in Los Angeles. And I think they were there for 30 years. And so, like, Kevin was a huge Kings fan, and he had tickets. And I know he would mention Doughty. And I know they mentioned Jonathan Quick was huge. Jonathan Quick was a big deal there. And I think Jeff Carter was when he was there. If I'm remembering, like, especially when they were going for their cup runs. But I don't know that Anze Kopitar had that same. I know there's a lot of Kopitar jerseys every time the Leafs play the Kings, but I don't know if Anze Kopitar outside of that is like a star. And I think Kovalchuk went there because it was like, man, it's LA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could be a star here. If he played well, he would have been. But
can Dustin Brown walk around a Whole Foods without signing an autograph or taking a picture?
I think so. And he's been there for like 18 million years.
Yeah.
I think he can.
18. Yeah. Like, I think, longevity.
Like, they're not the football. They're not what, Jared Goff, now Matt Stafford, right?
Yeah, they're not even the Chargers.
I know. I know, but they're huge. They are huge. It's that's funny.
I think
Muzzin,
it's so
I'm sure would have been recognizable because of the beard.
Oh yeah.
There's enough Canadians in Hollywood to support the Kings.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Isn't that the same thing with Tampa? It's all just
it's all a lot of Canadians. A lot of Canadians down there. Yeah.
Where are the Canadian hubs in the States?
Tampa, Los Angeles, I would think is a big one. Miami would be another big one.
Asthmatics in Arizona.
Oh yeah, a lot of Western Canadians in Scottsdale.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's a $200 flight. It's cheaper to fly. Most of the time, it's cheaper to fly to Vegas than it is to Vancouver from Calgary.
Oh yeah.
Because there's laws in Canada. You may not know this, but you can't fly on a non-Canadian airline from city to city. So like United can't come in and fly you from Toronto to Vancouver, which is why Canadians don't vacation in Canada because it's too expensive. It's supposed to protect jobs, but what it does, it just means that we don't vacation in our own country.
We flew to Regina for the Team Canada announcement, December 2009. And I remember just staring.
Your brain is broken.
I know. I remember just staring at the ticket though because I was still in school. Like, and Nike was flying me out to this event. It's $2,000
to Regina.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I had one year where I was flying around. I used to host this show called Canadian Top 20, which is the closest thing we have to American Top 40 in Canada, except no one cares. And at the time I was doing a whole bunch of interviews and I was flying, so I was out of Calgary. I flew through every major Canadian airport that year. So Vancouver, like Calgary, Edmonton, and then I flew through the two major hubs in Regina, Saskatoon, Winnipeg, Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, Nova Scotia, or like the one in just outside of Halifax. They've put it half an hour outside of Halifax for no reason.
Isn't it Dartmouth?
No, it's not in Dartmouth. No, Dartmouth is the first place you hit, but it's actually, I think it's in the HRM, but I think I don't know. It's far. It's in the middle of nowhere. And the ticket prices were insane. You couldn't believe it. Like it was, I think I flew to LA and I flew Calgary to Vancouver to LA. And the trip to Vancouver was double the price of the trip to LA.
This is wild.
It's insane. And that's like, you're literally just hopping over the mountains. It's an hour.
It's roughly the same to fly to Calgary as it is to fly to like England.
Yeah. to come home, I would have to put $2,000 away just for air travel for me, just me from Calgary. That's what the people pay less than that to go to Mexico for a week and eat and drink. It's crazy. Anyway,
it's okay. Canada's really small, so you can just drive.
Yeah, exactly. You've heard that, eh? Toronto. If you try to drive to Manitoba from Toronto, it will take you over 24 hours.
Yeah, in
the car, straight.
Yeah,
it's huge. Jack Campbell, unbelievable. Also, that contract extension.
Oh, let's not.
When do you think that's going to drop? Because we know they're negotiating it. You know they're going to sign it. You know he wants to be here. And by the way, after that overtime goal that Willie scored, Jack Campbell's got the best smile in a goalie mask. I always look at goalies like, how much emotion can I see in the little mask?
Right.
Jack Campbell's face squishes together. He means his smile. And he was just loving it.
He's just so nice.
He's going to be here. So when does it drop? Do we do a donut bet on that?
I want you guys to do the donut bet on this one.
Okay.
Or all three of us.
Are we donut betting? Let's donut bet. Three of us.
Three of us, donut bet?
All right.
I got something in mind.
So what's the bet, though? Is it the amount of years? Is it the amount of money? Or is it just when it drops?
The when.
When. Okay.
We can do... I didn't even think about the money. I think we'd all be in the same ballpark in the money. So let's do
it's about 5, right?
Yeah. I was thinking like 4. High 4s.
And 4 or 5
5.
years?
Yeah.
No, I have a theory I'm looking something up.
Yeah, okay.
So wait, what are we doing? Money, term, or date?
Date.
Okay.
Closest to your day. So we'll count the days from when it's signed to the day you pick.
Can you go over it?
Yes. Closest to the day you pick, regardless of if it's over or under. Whoever's closest to the day.
I might have a date coming up. This is great. I'm sure this is a great listen right now.
Mm-hmm. Adam, do you have your date?
I do.
Steve, do you have your date?
I do.
I got my date. Adam, you're up.
November 20th.
Oh. Steve?
February 1st.
Why?
Because the Leafs are in Detroit and Campbell is from Michigan and Dubas is a sucker for that shit.
Well, that's interesting.
January 17th.
Why that?
Because it's really close to February 1st?
No, you actually, you're in a better position than me because you get all the rest of the season.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a little unfair, but whatever. I think about when the Matthews contract came down in the middle of the winter. I think about that sort of timing of the season as you lead up to the trade deadline. I think a January date, so I picked the middle of January.
I'd like Dubas to plan for the future. You know, one of the things I heard on the CJ show is the Leafs are sort of actually in sell mode.
Oh.
They're shopping.
Well,
Dermott.
And that's what I was going to bring up next. So it's good that you got that. But let's
the game.
Let's talk let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the bet.
Okay.
You know, I'm Steve, and I'm going to steer this where I feel right now.
Mitch Marner,
do your goddamn job.
Mitch Marner, unbelievable game. He was on fire. The John Tavares goal with the net empty. I jumped from my couch. It was a great moment. Willie, best player on the ice.
He was
Matthews
really good.
also had a great night.
I thought Matthews did too, and they stuck with it. What I didn't like during the game is the broadcast kept going back to, God, they look so frustrated, just downtrodden. And I'm like,
trying hard.
Yeah, but That's their whole thing is they get down on themselves, right? The whole thing, no one denies what this team can do with their physical ability, but it's just pushing through those moments. And Tampa had too easy of a time controlling the Leafs, cutting them off in the neutral zone. And, Victor Hedman got a lot of shit for the giveaway that ended up leading to the goal, but he gives the puck away and then everyone forgets John Tavares exists. I had a screen cap in the video. It's at least the second time this season where the greatest goal scorers in the sport know how to Jedi mind trick themselves into being invisible.
Get open,
but he's surrounded like a perfect box of 4 Tampa Bay Lightning players, none of whom are looking at him. They don't care that John Tavares is standing right there, a guy who could have a pretty mediocre season and hit 30 goals. And he just, all Marner's got to do is put the puck on his stick. It's not too complicated. And it goes in.
Tavares having a sneaky good start. 9 points in 11 games.
After a rough start.
Well, and they're on a 4-game win streak, and he's arguably been the biggest part of that, maybe outside of goaltending.
And I would say, too, that his shooting percentage is due to come up. He's only shooting 10% right now. I think his career is about 13. So there you go. So that'll happen. And I have to say, that overtime goal with William Nylander.
Good shit.
Vintage. And that's his shot.
It's really good.
Is unbelievable. I hope one day he makes the All-Star team so we could see him in a shootout competition or in a shots competition.
They need to fix the skills competition where the guys who make the All-Star team don't have to be in the skills competition.
Yeah, just bring the best skilled guys in.
Exactly. That's how every other sport does it. Just bring the guys who do the skill to the
No,
skills
Jesse,
competition.
we need to know what Leo Komarov can do in the skills competition.
Like, you don't
we have to represent everybody.
You don't have to be on the All-Star team to be in the home run derby. You don't have to be on the All-Star team to be in the 3-point competition. Just fix that NHL.
And honestly, you know who else? Who else does it right? Is the NBA with the all rookie teams. So that makes sure.
Game,
like, imagine the All-Star game and like Matthews and McDavid are there in the rookie game, right?
They used to do it.
Did they?
They did. And I remember there was a year where Kovalchuk was the reason you watched. Wait till you get a load of this fucking kid. But there was this other guy flying around the ice, deking around everybody. And I'm like, who is this? And it was Pavel Datsyuk.
Who the fuck is he? What did he ever do?
I know. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not old. And then I tell stories like that.
You're so old that his contract with the Coyotes has expired.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Pavel, the old graybeard Datsyuk. But I remember watching that as a kid, wanting to see Kovalchuk tear these dudes up. And I was like, who is this other guy? Kovalchuk's not even the best Russian on the ice. This guy's amazing, and he ends up being Pavel Datsyuk.
Put that back on the list. Put all rookie teams for the All-Star games, East versus West.
East versus West.
Or
I like that
they do second year versus first year, I believe, in the NBA.
Yeah, rookies versus sophomores. Because there's not always enough rookies, right?
Yeah. So the Leafs have a cap crunch coming with Ilya Mikheyev due to come off LTIR here in a couple weeks. They got $1 million, but his cap is $1.645 million. They have, less than $1 million in cap space, according to Cap Friendly. So they've let it be known, apparently, that Travis Dermott and Justin Hall can be available for the right price. Luke Fox Jukebox, our boy, says it's probably something like an upper mid-round pick or maybe a rugged defenseman a la Zach Bogosian on like a 1-year deal.
I'd take that.
Well, yeah, but I don't think Zach Bogosian wants it, but we love Zach Bogosian. I wish he would come back. I find that interesting about Ilya Mikheyev. To me...
What, is he on the block?
Well, no, but I think at a certain point, you got to think he might be, right? Like, if this team is playing super well and he comes back and they need to clear some cap space and he's asked for a trade, like Nick Ritchie, for all the gears, people have been giving him shit. He's starting to look better, I think.
Yes.
He's starting to find his spot.
Yes.
Michael Bunting's looked fantastic. Are you missing Ilya Mikheyev?
See, this is going to be very unpopular because he's a really popular player, and I do think he's been good at times. Bunting hasn't been so amazing that that's his spot forever.
Okay.
So remember, they wanted Mikheyev to take this, and then he gets hurt.
So they want to see him
before the season even begins, right? So they want to see him in games that count, and but he does have a lot of work to do. He's got to he's got to be better than Bunting and Kerfoot, who I think has found his spot in the lineup.
Yeah, I think so
I wanted him gone because he was a bad fit for third line left winger making 3.5. What? This team can't afford that. And he's not going to be third line center unless there's an injury, but you don't exactly plan for that. Right? So here's what could happen. Mikheyev comes in, blows the doors off, and then all of a sudden you can afford to trade Kerfoot.
What about Eng Vegas?
Or more realistically, it could be a guy like Engvall.
People are. I got a message last night going, "How did Sheldon Keefe put Pierre Engvall out there on a 5-on-3?"
Oh, man, that guy. he can do special things.
He can. But we've seen it. We've all seen glimpses of it.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know if this is totally true, but last night I remember watching, and I think it was in the third period, and I think he was benched for at least a shift. I think Nick Ritchie stole his spot.
Okay, so then
the coach doesn't
trust him.
Doesn't gel with the player. Man.
So you've got Hall and Dermott.
Yep.
And the Leafs are thin on picks, so you can see why they would want a fourth or a third or a second or whatever they get. A right shot defenseman's worth a lot in this league, as we know.
Should be.
It seems like Timothy Liljegren has earned his spot. My thing was
real good.
You wanted some depth. So if you are going to trade, we understand Justin Hall's contract is more than double the cost of Travis Dermott's.
Yes.
But include their contracts in this and remember the Leafs contract situation. Who would you want to see moved more? And it's not because you want either moved, but it's because what makes the most sense here for the Leafs that keeps them, because the thing is they are going for it, right? So if you're the Leafs, you got to figure out which of those two guys do you think helps you more for the rest of the season? Who helps them more? And then you got to think about whose cap situation helps them more. Obviously, Justin Hall, if he moves, that gives them a little bit of air. And Justin Hall's got some good history, right? He was pretty good in the playoffs last year. Pretty good last season.
I tell you what I'm thinking about. Ice cream. I don't like when I think about ice cream. I've told you guys about ice cream in the past. When I was at summer camp, the Dickie D guy would come around selling his ice cream, and I knew I needed $2 for the chocolate baseball glove with the gumball in it.
Oh, I love the chocolate baseball glove.
No, I do.
And I would look, I've told this story before, you should know what I'm talking about. And I would look at the change in my pocket, I would put it in my hand, and I'd have like $1.60. And no matter how hard I stared at the $1.60, I couldn't make it into $2. I would stack it differently, I would arrange it differently, and it would come up as $1.60 the whole time. And I'm saying that because I cannot make the Leafs defense $2. I don't know how to do it. They don't have a top pair right defenseman unless you make peace with the fact that your top pair is Muzzin Brody.
Muzzin's also hurt, right? He looks hurt.
Yes, he does. Now, what would be great is if Hall came back into the lineup and then was useful, and then you can still have a top four of... I'd like to see if Riley Hall could work. I'd like to see if that makes sense. And then you do Muzzin Brody, Sandin Liljegren. All right, there's your 6. So goodbye, Travis.
To answer Adam's question for you, you're not moving either guy?
Oh, no, I'm moving... I guess what I'm saying is I would move either of them and not be terribly bothered by it. Because you do the pairings that I just said.
Mm-hmm.
You win in a cup?
Maybe. They were great last year.
They were.
The problem was the team couldn't score.
Also,
they couldn't defend.
Pretty good chippers in Muzzin's backyard. Be sad to see that relationship go away.
Yeah. Well, and Hall is a popular teammate as well.
Yeah, people love him.
He's a really...
Not to say Dermott's not. People seem to love Travis Dermott.
Yeah, but one of them's got to go. One of them's got to go. The thing CJ brought up is like the Leafs want flexibility, and like it's not even necessarily that they have guys coming off LTIR. It's they don't want more situations where they're forced to play a U of T goalie as their backup. You know what I mean? And like at some point, just make a decision. Just make a decision. Like I understand Dubas is betting on this group, but you can't bet on all of them. right? You can't be like, this is the group. This is the group right here. I'm ready to see change. I'm ready to see change there. Selling concerns me, though, a little bit.
You can always be parlayed into buying.
That's true. I would much prefer to see like them bring in someone like who you mentioned, like Bogosian type. If it was Hall for a pick,
Radko Gudas.
Yeah, well, he makes a lot of money, I think, and like
might kill someone. One day Radko Gudas might kill someone.
You know, and that's frowned upon. That's at least.
Do people not like that anymore?
It's at least a $5,000 fine. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the
not $2 million
max allowable.
That's right. Not $2 million though.
No.
Different context. Different facts.
Different facts.
Didn't happen at the NHL level.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Jesse, that is dark.
This got dark so fast. Anyway, so yeah, I hope they get good value in a trade, which is what we were friggin' talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not $2. Not $2. I can't make it $2, guys.
Are we looking at the wrong place? Is it you move a higher contract like Kerfoot, packaged with a defenseman to get something back?
I think we're coming to the correct conclusions here. Like we're finding the inefficiencies in the lineup, and Engvall is one. Probably a little tougher to move.
Mm-hmm.
Dermott. I just really don't think trading Dermott is a needle mover. Justin Hall a little bit more.
Interesting. Okay. Jesse, what's your pick? Please take 20 minutes to describe your pick.
For moving either one of these players?
We have to make sure this show is longer than
Perhaps
CJ and
I
Julian.
Should rant about it for 8 minutes straight. Adam? Perhaps I should hear Cam for 8 minutes straight.
I just wanted to explain the situation. I'm sorry that it took that long. Did anybody have a problem with that, by the way?
I did not.
Okay. Because there were people on Twitter like, ugh.
Here, you know what I do have a problem with?
My hair? My hair bugging you?
Here, no, I put it down. You had the alfalfa.
Oh, did I? Okay, thanks.
If you're asking me about Leafs trade scenarios,
I'm not. I am. What is it?
I would probably leave the defense alone right now.
So bored.
I think I would leave it and let the season play out a little longer. I don't know why now is the decision.
I know.
Like, why 10 games in you're like, okay, I've seen enough.
Well, we got to.
Space.
Well, okay, but okay.
Yeah, you don't need it.
You don't need it until Mikheyev comes back.
Let me also throw out, I was thinking about this the other day. The Leafs didn't just sign Brendan Mennel, they traded for him. Okay. They like this player.
All right.
So, like, I think he'll get a chance. No, I know what you're making. Yeah, but you're coming to the same conclusion that I am.
They didn't just sign Dennis Malgin, they traded for him.
Fuck, you're right.
They didn't just sign Nick Petan, they traded for him.
You're a broken record. You know?
They like this player. Give Nick Petan a chance.
We're arguing about their third line.
Oh no, this is what we do.
No, man, this is top pair. This is the problem.
Top pair.
Yeah, it's true.
Sorry.
I don't know who. I think they got to keep some depth. I think you hold. I think you don't do anything, because if you do something, it's the Murphy's Law. Like if it can go wrong, it will. Somebody will get injured the second you trade somebody.
Yeah, it's the Bitcoin's not high, it's not low. It's just kind of staying. So you got to hold. Just hold it for now, and it'll go up.
Don't pick at it.
Yeah.
So you're holding on Leafs stock?
I'm hodling on the Leafs.
You're hodling?
Do you know how they won?
I'd hodl on that, man.
You know how they won World War I? Bite and hold tactics. That's what they're called. Bite and hold. So hold it.
Of course.
You bit, now hold. You bit on Hall. You signed him to the extension. You protected him in the expansion draft. Don't you dare trade him for like a third-round pick now. Because then I'm right about Jared McCann, and you don't want that. That's wrong. I shouldn't be right about that.
He's right.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
I know.
Come on, guys.
10 games, dude, but stop tinkering.
Yeah.
I don't know. Give it till December.
Yeah. Hey,
have you considered trade videos get a lot of views and it'd be great?
Now Christmas is coming up. Leo needs some toys.
Yeah.
You know what they always say about kids? Real cheap.
Yeah, seriously. Hey, let's do the press conference. Hey, listen, life can get busy, and sometimes you're going to miss the biggest headline in sports from the night before, or maybe multiple headlines. And then that's going to change the way you place your bets. So how about this? We relive the best nights in sports
with BetMGM tonight, presented by BetMGM. And basically, it's a fun, easy way to kind of stay informed and feel confident about making the bets you need to make without actually seeing the games all the time. Because let's face it, life gets in the way. So if you find 20 minutes, a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of fun, and BetMGM is going to take you there. It's a high-energy, live destination for casual and hardcore sports fans. It's engaging, it's polarizing, it's relevant to you, and you get caught up in sports betting around the world with a heavy dose of entertainment. The hosts are Quentin Mayo, Ryan Horvat, and Trista Crick, and they're joined by on-site correspondents to bring you the insider information that you need in real time. Every detail matters when you're making sports bets. BetMGM tonight dives deeper to give you the edge. Fun to bet on the game, and it's even more fun when you've got the inside scoop. So tune into BetMGM tonight, presented by BetMGM. You can listen on Odyssey, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. You know, before I started going to therapy, one of the things that one of my friends who was recommending it said was this. This is how it's the best way I've ever heard it explained. You work out your body, right? Go for a run, you do some push-ups, get on an extra bike, whatever it is you do. And that helps clear your head. You're taking care of your body. You need to do that. You need to move. What about your brain? Have you worked that out lately? Have you gone for treatment lately? For you, for the inside, for the thing that controls all the things that take you to the gym. That's what's really important. We get annual checkups at the gym and the doctor. How about some emotional checkups? Going to therapy is like that, just a little bit of routine maintenance. And the great thing about BetterHelp is it's customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone. If you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to be. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Why invest in everything else and not your mind? That's the most important part, right? So this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Steve Dangle podcast listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/SDP. That's BetterHelp.com/SDP for 10% off at BetterHelp.
It's fall, which means football season is in full swing, and for many of us, there's no better way to enjoy the games than by having a little skin in the game. A little skin. Which is why BetMGM remains the exclusive betting partner of The Athletic. As a fan of The Athletic, you can bet $10 and win $150 plus a free 3-month subscription or extension to your subscription for people who are already subscribed, like moi, with The Athletic when you bet MGM and use the promo code. Just sign up at BetMGM.com and use the promo code TheAthleticPod at checkout. That's it. Got the special offer, the King of Sportsbook, $10 to win $150 plus 3 months free at The Athletic or a subscription extension. It's BetMGM.com using the promo code TheAthleticPod at checkout. It's a new customer offer. Visit BetMGM.com for all the terms and conditions.
21 years of age or older to wager. Arizona, Colorado, Washington, D.C., Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia only. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona, 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado, Washington, D.C., Nevada, Wyoming, and Virginia, 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help in Michigan, 1-800-GAMBLER in Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. Call or text the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789 in Tennessee, or call 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
If you're not on our Discord, head to sdpn.ca, click the button that says join us on Discord, and join us on Discord. We're going to hit 10K in the next, couple months. We're up near 8,000. I don't know how soon we're going to push to 10K, but
donuts on it.
We're going to have a special stream for 10K where Adam and Steve will join me, and we'll have
I would love that.
We're going to play some sort of video game like Among Us or some sort of other game where
co-op.
We can. Yes.
I also am going to do like people have asked, I am going to do a Far Cry thing, like my own, like what Jesse's doing. Far Cry is such a stupid game. It's so amazing, and it's Canadian too. We love that. I just haven't had time, but I really want to get on and do this because it seems like so much fun. Jesse, how does the Sabres team doing? I know you finished season 2.
Yes.
And you've got to win the Stanley Cup by season 5, otherwise it's all over.
Yeah, I got 5 years to win the Stanley Cup with the Buffalo Sabres on NHL 22. I stream every Wednesday and Friday night / afternoon, sometimes around like 4:30 or like 7 p.m. So season 1, we made the playoffs. We snuck in with an 8-game winning streak at the end of the year. We lost in the first round to the Boston Bruins. And then that offseason, I really got to build the team. I signed Bergeron. I signed Marc-Andre Fleury. And I traded
Bergeron.
I traded for Sergachev. Like, our team was fucking built to win. I got Burakovsky on like our second line left winger. Like, our team's really great. So we go into year 2. We sim through. We make the playoffs. We end up winning the Atlantic. We're a great team. First round, we knock out the Canadians in 5 games.
Hey.
We're rolling. And at the trade deadline, I went out and got oh my God, I'm forgetting. I got a big defenseman. I forget which defenseman I got, but I also
Dumba?
I got Matt Dumba. How did you know? Yeah,
I watched.
Oh, you watched? Okay. Okay. So I got Matt Dumba at the deadline, so our team's just stacked. Second round, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Did they beat you?
We go head to head with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's game 6. No, game 5. 2-2 in the series. Overtime. We sim through overtime. It stops the simulation. Matthews potted one and
No!
So we're down in the series. Game 6, we drop it like 4-1. So that's where the stream is left off. We did the draft at the end of that. So we're at the free agency signing of year 2. So we're going into year 3 tonight, actually. So I'm going to sim through year 3. Hopefully year 3 we win the cup.
How
That's the goal.
unrealistic that the Leafs would win something in 6 games.
Right? And so
who won the cup?
The Leafs went to the Stanley Cup final this past season, this season 2, and they lost to the Seattle Kraken.
Oh,
No way!
Oh, the Kraken. Oh, that's
The Kraken
so funny.
won the Stanley Cup in year 2 of our EA
that's
stream.
funny.
Anyways, this is a really good time.
Yeah. I saw you were making some real tough decisions. You got yourself into a little cap hell.
Oh my God, I had to trade. I had to trade
Ben
2 guys.
Hutton.
I had to trade. Oh, you did watch?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is great.
Ben Hutton, and it was this morning too. It was Ben
And
Hutton and
the Nashville player, I think it was Arvidsson.
Arvidsson.
I traded Ben Hutton, Arvidsson for nothing. I just traded them for 6-round picks. It's my go-to moves. Is just trading guys for picks. So I traded Arvidsson and a third for like Calgary 6, and then I traded Hutton and a second for a 7.
Because you needed to
He's
get
just for cap
Vegas.
space.
He's Vegas. He doesn't care about picks.
I like that.
It's a really great strategy. I'm getting good at it. And then I signed Ho-Sang for like $1 million.
Yep.
And then I have another pending defenseman who we're gonna sim and see if he expects the contract for like $2 million. But then I get rid of $5 million. I signed some guys for $3 million. I have $2 million extra in cap space, and then we play out the season because our team is already so good, and we have a shot at the cup.
Listen to the passion.
It's got a shot.
Listen to the passion.
And the owner, I knew our team was good because our owner goals changed. So our owner goals are now get to the Stanley Cup final. So the game thinks we're a good team, and I think we're a good team, and I hope we can do it.
I have
We
a
got 3
question.
sims left.
How is your office?
Trash.
It's
Is
terrible.
it a trash
It's
office?
terrible. It's
Okay.
terrible. My office, I guess, is my apartment, which is tiny, and so it's terrible.
How is your sweater collection?
It's all SDPN merch.
Okay,
so it's
all right.
great.
Nice.
Okay.
It's the best.
It's the best. The best merch on
No
the
cardigans.
market.
We don't
No
sell
cardigans. Not yet.
Not yet.
We will.
We should do some sort of Dubas themed cardigan. I don't know how we would do it.
And frameless glasses. Non-prescription glasses.
Are they non-prescription?
Or
No, we sell Dubas glasses.
Oh,
This
do
is
we?
what Dubas
Oh,
say.
I meant
okay.
lensless
Oh,
yeah,
glasses.
all right.
It's frameless.
Let's okay.
So
let's
press
do it.
conference. Yes, that's the stream. Catch me every Wednesday and Friday. I'm very passionate about it. It's a good time.
Your streams are so good.
I have to figure out what team I'm doing next. Probably going to be the Leafs. Adam, I was on the Adam's History Corner requests channel, and somebody asked a very fun question. They had a very fun request. This is from A Miller 97. Need an AHC about great world powers who had great expectations and failed, and somehow they're just like the Leafs. Do you have an example of a world power who are like, oh, these guys are going to be great, and then they go into whatever battle or whatever situation, and then they fail miserably? Like
I think one of my favorite empires in history is the Ottoman Empire, and I don't mean for what happened in the during the First World War with respect to Armenia. Obviously, I'm talking about the scope of the entire empire. And by the way, anybody who's like a big fan of how Rome was run. Rome was essentially fascism before fascism. So like, don't be a big fan of how they ran Rome at all. Even in the Republic stage, it's not that democratic. But when we talk about like what an empire is and what it can do, first off, all empires are, in my mind, inherently evil. Because they essentially go into other people's land and go, this is ours now. And you're going to we're gonna take this. Now, everybody back then was like that, but the Ottomans were interesting because they were on the up big time. So they basically, the Turks in the 1100s start to kick out the Crusader states. So all the they call them the Frange, but the French and the German and sometimes the British, who had little pockets of like Antioch and Jerusalem that were for a couple hundred years under their control. So they come and they start to take all of that back. And then they start to eat away at an old empire, which I argue is still Roman, which is the Byzantine Empire, which was the eastern half of the Roman Empire that survived until, I think it's 1453. And at that point, they're just a rump state with Constantinople, and nobody can beat Constantinople. So the Turks, nobody. Well, because it has these huge walls. And what's interesting about it, so it's got on one side, it's got the straits. So it's water, and they could basically, it's like a river that goes into an ocean. And what they could do to keep ships out was literally run a chain along the water from one side to the other, and they could stop ships from coming in, like just a big gigantic chain. And that's how they did it. And then the other side was these walls that were so big that you couldn't get through. Not even the Mongols could get through. But what they do is they go hire this insane Hungarian guy who builds them the biggest cannon that the world has ever seen. And it's so big that it takes all day to load. And they say that when they fired it, your ears would bleed. And like within 300 yards of the cannon. It was enormous. We're talking SUV-sized cannonballs, this thing. So you can imagine they wheel this sucker up to, or a couple of these up to the gates of Constantinople. And the citizens inside are like, we've never been sacked before. It's not going to happen now. And they fire one of these off. And it takes a little bit, but they blow through the walls. The citizens try to rebuild them and like throw them back up. But again, after a while, it just happens. So I think it was Suleiman. Was it Suleiman the Great? I think it went anyway. Whoever took it turned Constantinople into what's today known as Istanbul, which means into the city. And what was unique about the Ottoman Empire at that point, which was different from Christianity, which was different from a lot of other world religions at that point, was they allowed the Christians to exist. You could be a Christian in the Ottoman Empire, whereas in Spain or in England or in France, if you were a Jew or you were Muslim, especially in Spain, especially in France, you were in serious trouble. Like you were in danger all the time. And the Ottomans didn't do that. They liked good business. And what was amazing about them is they pushed all the way in. So they take over what is now Croatia and Greece and all of the Balkan territories, and they move their way right into Austria. So you're talking about Austria and Germany have always essentially been sister Germanic states, right? So they're essentially where the edge of Germany is, and they are stopped right there. But the worry at the time was that the popes for 100 or 200 years, literally one of their primary concerns was stopping the Ottomans from coming into Europe. And it was a legitimate fear of all the monarchs in Europe that the Ottomans were going to come and take over, and they could have. And nobody talks about the Ottoman Empire. Nobody studies the Ottoman Empire. But if you want to know anything about Middle Eastern politics, it's a good place to start. And I've always found that they had all the technology, they had all the money, they had all the resources, and they didn't have a religion at the time that was holding them back from growing forward. So part of the issue I see with history is Christianity became extremely regressive in the 700s and 800s, and it remained that way until the Renaissance. And so any sort of knowledge was considered you like the devil, right? Like remember, the Galileo, it was a Galileo that discovered the earth was round or whatever, or rediscovered that the earth was round, and they threw him in jail. Like it was sort of, and that's because they didn't want anybody breaking from church doctrine. Whereas at the Ottomans, it was like, well, who's the smartest person? Let's listen to them.
Right.
And then what happened was they make it to that point, and then like all world empires, they sort of ate themselves because people become fat and rich, and they don't really continue the upward trajectory or growth. But the Ottomans are like the Toronto Maple Leafs, because every single time you think they're going to do something big and world changing, and they did change the world in a lot of ways, but every single time you think This is it. This is their championship round. All of the factors are going in their favor. They fuck it up. And it's always something stupid. Like, it's always like, well, they charged when they shouldn't have.
They were up 3-1.
They were up 3-1. And that's, so the Ottomans are like that. It's a fascinating look at world history because we have such a Eurocentric view of things that we largely ignore them. It's a fascinating time because as Europeans, one of the things that made Europeans so proud was that they stopped the Ottomans. And at the same time, they figure out that, North America exists. And they pulled untold riches from North America, which boosts the European economy, which, and the Ottomans sagged behind at that point. But there was a point where the Ottomans were the only gateway to China and to India. So if you wanted any of those goods, you had to go through the Ottoman territories. And they made a pile of money just taxing people off that. So once they figured out, we don't have to go that way, the empire kind of shrunk. And in World War I, it allies with Germany, and then it blows apart in 1918. But it's a one of those crazy historical what could have beens, because you have to remember all of that territory was all once Christian and Roman. And then here comes this tribe out of the hills. They start to conquer. Everybody becomes Muslim, and it could have happened the other way. It could have swept over Europe, and everybody could be Muslim right now. Seriously, they could have. Like it was within it, and I think it was just outside of Vienna that they stopped them. So think about how far that is they owned from Egypt all the way right up to Vienna. It's a long way. It's an amazing story. And unfortunately, especially towards the end, an extraordinarily tragic one. Not if you're of Armenian descent, it's just tragic, period. But it's an empire that needed to go. But that was one of those, if we're talking in historical terms, 100%, they're the ones that had it all and blew it. Absolutely blew it.
You're unreal.
I don't know if I'm unreal. There may be some historians that disagree with that, but I think the Ottomans just blew it. And that's probably for the best. It's not like they did all good things. Anyway,
this guy, like in school, the way they talk about World War I is, and the Ottomans were there. And who the hell are they? Said everyone in the class except Adam, apparently.
I don't remember ever learning about the Ottomans in World War I.
We didn't.
No, we just learned about the Western Front, which was not even the most disastrous front.
I remember the explanation we were given. So what's the Ottoman Empire? It's like Turkey. And we just went, okay.
No, but it's like Turkey and Palestine and Saudi Arabia and what was part of Egypt, but the British kind of controlled that. Like what is the UAE, Jordan, all of these incredible different cultures that came underneath that umbrella, and the fact that they held it together, all of the different Arab tribes, and it's crazy.
No,
crazy.
It's just Turkey.
It's just Turkey. And Turkey is such a small part of that, right? There's Syria's there too. Anyway, sorry.
To close the show, we have a question from Tanner Shep.
Mm-hmm.
Tanner Shep says, "Hey Steve, I'm in Oshawa for the next few weeks for work.
Hey,
was wondering if there's anything to do or if I should just go to my hotel room and sleep. Love the pod."
Love it.
Love it.
You mean what the hell? What did you expect?
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna sleep. There's lots of ice in Oshawa. You can, if you're into skating, you can rent some ice and skate. If you have your hockey equipment with you, there's lots of casual shinny. Although I don't know how this has changed with the pandemic.
What's the really good breakfast place?
Oh, Berry Hill Food Company.
Amazing.
Unreal.
They used to be Berry Hill Farms, right?
Sounds like a thing.
Yeah,
but
Berry Hill Farms, and
now they're
Berry Hill Food Company.
So good.
Adam and Jesse thumbed their nose at it until they had it, and then they were like, "This, our Toronto taste buds approve."
Steve, but it's nothing I can't get in Toronto.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, but you can get it in Oshawa. You can get it in Oshawa.
I can, but it's nothing I can't get down
sure
here.
Can.
If you really like barbecue, there's Buster Rhinos. If you, I'm just doing all food stuff. There's I forget what it's called, but down south on, I think it's Simcoe, there's a really nice like park and waterfront you can go to. Yeah, man. Like, geez, we're not the sticks. Everyone talks about Oshawa like there's shit all to do.
You listed a park and some food spots.
Yeah, well, and I mean, there's also the GM Center, and there's like entertainment. Oh, the Gens, but like I don't know. You have to remember, it's not like I've been out to a ton of places over the last 2 years.
Yeah,
because,
that's true.
Like it's not
That's
like
fair.
I've even really been to Toronto. Like in normal times, it'd be like, oh, go to this place, go to this place, go to this place. But I don't know what. I literally don't know what's open.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
You, me, and Justin Fisher went to the keg and just sort of stared at each other for the first 5 minutes because we didn't know how to speak.
Yeah, that was the summer. That was fun.
Yeah, I don't remember which one of you it was, but it was either you or Justin just went, listen, we're not going to know how to do this. So, like, let's just try to have fun. And we were like, okay.
The keg. Visit it. It's
The
in
keg
Oshawa.
In Oshawa. We have one.
It's a good spot.
One.
All right. Well, is that it for us?
Last thing, Carey Price returns on Monday.
Oh.
Yeah, that just
Oh.
broke. I got a notification on my phone.
All
that
right.
said,
Shit.
All
Carey
right.
Price
All right.
returning Monday. Canadians goaltender to rejoin club after spending time in player assistance program
That's awesome.
13 minutes ago.
Amazing.
Wow. I didn't think it would happen less than a month into the season.
Ducharme added that Price will meet with athletic trainers Monday to develop a plan moving forward as he gets ready to return to the crease. It's unknown how much more time he'll need to get game ready.
Yeah, he returns to practice.
Yeah.
He returns to the organization.
Right. Okay.
Great. Well, good for them. That's awesome. And maybe that'll help turn the season around. No, seriously.
They got booed off the ice last night, and for good reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's been a tough start. What are they, 3-9?
It ain't good. It ain't good. I don't know what it is. It's
Has
bad.
anyone had a more disastrous start?
Arizona?
Chicago.
Oh, never mind.
Chicago
That's the
for
winner.
Sure.
That's
you're
the winner.
right. You're right. We'll see you Monday. Remember, SDPN app in the App Store, sdpn.ca to check out SDPN Radio.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.